This is Twit.
These days, a lot of the big name apps come from big name companies.
Yeah.
So it's not just small timers, one of whom is Nintendo. Perhaps you've heard of them. They make games.
Once or twice.
So Nintendo's already sort of taken over the Android world. They have Animal Crossing, Pocket Camp. They have a couple Pokemon games that are out right now. And coming soon is Dr. Mario World. That's coming to Android beginning July 10th. It's free to play, like a lot of Nintendo's existing Android titles and iOS titles. There will be currency diamonds, which cost money and can be used for items, stamina, and new skills instead of waiting for the game to kind of, go forward.
Oh, joy.
The whole freemium model that we have going on with mobile games these days. We'll also include an online versus play mode. Jason, you were part of the closed beta for Mario Kart Tour. What was that like?
It's fun. I personally, I thought it was fun. Like the kind of downside is that Nintendo tried with Super Mario Run, tried to do the pay for it once up front and own the game with no, in-app purchase opportunities throughout, right? And it cost $10 and people thought that was too expensive and it kind of flopped from that perspective. And so now Nintendo is totally bought into what everyone else that's making games for mobile is doing, which is, like you said, the freemium model, free to download. But you can go a lot faster by buying these upgrades or whatever, and so that's just how Nintendo does on mobile now. So this Dr. Mario World is no different. Mario Kart Tour, very similar, although in the closed beta they didn't have any of the microtransactions opened, right? Because it was kind of a closed beta to test the gameplay and everything like that. So there was no opportunity or no moment where I was like, dang, I feel like I need to buy this microtransaction in order to move forward, which is, by the way, something I never do in mobile games. I just don't buy in-app purchases. I'm apparently one of the few that don't. So from that perspective, I actually really enjoyed the game. I thought it was a lot of fun. I guarantee you when it comes out, though, that it's going to have enough of these like microtransaction hooks in it, and you could kind of see pieces of it in playing it on mobile, that it's going to probably be a little annoying. But the gameplay itself was really cool. It had all the levels from all the different versions of Mario Kart that you've played on all the different systems that you could open up. It was basically like, here's our entire catalog. I don't know if it's every one of them, but it was most of them, of courses, and but played with a different Mario Kart mechanic that really only requires one finger. And I thought it was fun. Like I actually played it a lot, and then the beta was done, and I was bummed.
So as an ample player of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, of which I've probably spent at least thousands of dollars on Leaf tickets, which is, ridiculous.
Wait a minute, you spent thousands of dollars on Animal Crossing? Really?
Probably.
Wow. Really?
Probably. Because they come up, I do my taxes now, line by line. And I could see all of the Google Play purchases for Nintendo. And we've been complaining about this in the Animal Crossing community on the internet because we feel like we can't get anything done without buying Leaf tickets with money, so we can get like the furniture and the stuff that we want. Because Animal Crossing, it's all about like building a virtual world to escape the real one. Unfortunately, Nintendo has this thing where, I'm giving it a lot of money because it's Nintendo. I'm a huge fan of the franchise. They also have kind of created an ecosystem around their games, so you can you collect points and you can redeem them for like free stuff like wallpapers or strategy guides or whatever. So it's supposed to be this little, like a mobile version of its console world, except that you're constantly paying into it to really like reap the benefits. So I hope that it doesn't become like that for everyone who's trying to get a Nintendo game on their mobile phone. But I'm sure that this will entice a lot of people. It's Dr. Mario.
Yeah,
one of the hardest puzzle games I've ever played.
It'll be effectively enticing for Dr. Mario. It'll be effectively enticing for Mario Kart. It's just it's a method that works in mobile gaming. Love it or hate it.
They have to monetize somehow.
It works.
Yeah, they do.
Like,
you're right.
like Nintendo's a great company, but they're not here by the grace of their heart to give you free games. Like
it's true.
And we've created a world where charging charging $2.99, $7.99, $19.99 for a mobile game. People just won't do.
Yeah.
So
right. I mean, the Mario Run was $10, and because that failed, this is where we are. What do you think, Ray?
Man, it just feels so un-Nintendo. Like, it's not the Nintendo way. And I feel like I read an article recently that's somebody at Nintendo said that they should design mobile games that have less in-app purchases, or they like kind of rejected some concepts because it just had too many of them. Mm-hmm. But like you said, they tried Mario Run. It was $10. It was too expensive, and now they're just kind of following the trends that work on mobile. And it sucks because there are so many people who just they're so addicted to the game that they will pay to play. And, I'm not one of those people. I kind of don't want to. I know what the true cost of these games is, but, there are a lot of younger people who just don't, but I think it's smart. It's a smart business plan, especially trying to get people to maybe go purchase their other consoles and stuff.
Right, a good kind of like a way to get them in on the franchise, and then maybe go and get the Switch or whatever. But I mean, whenever I think about this, I have to remind myself, like, I don't find value in in-app purchases within games, which is not to say that I don't buy in-app purchases in other things like productivity apps that unlock like a pro version or whatever. Absolutely, I do that. I don't find personal value in spending $10 to get a bunch of gems inside of a game. But that's me. Like, what I have to remind myself is there's a lot of people that do. Like, and Flo, I mean, right? Like, on one hand, like, I heard you say that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and I want to go to that like judgy place of like, why would you do that? But then you get something out of that. You get enjoyment of the game. You're building something that's creative and customized to your liking, and you wouldn't. I think I know you well enough to know that you wouldn't spend that money if you didn't value it in some way within that game environment.
And I knew that I could spend that. Again, I don't have children yet, so I can be kind of ridiculous like this with money. But it's also just, Nintendo has created such large communities around its franchises, and you really get sucked into the fandom of it all. And you guys know me, I'm a big fan of stuff. Like, I carry it to the grave. Yeah. So it's easy to justify that purchase to yourself because you're like, well, I'm a huge fan of this franchise and it's making me happy. So I got paid this Friday, so why not drop $12.99 on a bunch of Leaf tickets? Why not?
What am I going to do with those Leaf tickets? I can't wait.
I usually buy stuff.
It's funny though because I was doing some reading online and I saw some reports and stuff. I had some data going into mobile games, and a lot of these in-app purchases. It's fascinating that you'll see that 80% of the or like 80% or north of 80% of the revenue from these games is derived from 10% of the users.
Oh yeah. I'm not surprised.
Right. So what you have is a total, dedicated diehard people who just want more, want to get everything, want to keep going, all this stuff like that. And then you have a huge population of people who just kind of come in, check it out, and leave. And as long as that revenue is coming in, it's hard to say no. And I love the thought that Nintendo is better than this, but they're not. This is the marketplace, and we're saying like, oh, this isn't very Nintendo, whatever. But like, I remember spending $80 for Super Nintendo games. They were not cheap. So it's
they're still not.
What goes around comes around. So
they're still $60 a pop.